So, I don't even know how one can start a video about this topic, so I'll just start by saying that Wega's Challenge was a horror game released in January of 2023. This game was most likely made as a joke, as the main antagonist it's fucking Wega. This game was popular on the internet for a good while and even spawned a small fan base. This fan base would go on to create a sequel on Roblox that would be taken down by the big men at Nintendo, which actually doesn't sound very out of the realm of possibility. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. As stated before, Wega's Challenge was released in 2023 by some dude named Plebo, and it featured the titular character Wega. This game follows a dark deception style of gameplay, where there's a path and you get to collect many crystals or Wegas that are on the path that need collecting. So you go around the super retro paths while also avoiding Wega and his furious friends, even though there's only one other character. The game opens with a glorious cutscene that adds depth to this empowering story, and let me just show you that right now.
Hello, it's me!
Have you ever wanted movies free? Download movies free at If you don't want to download free's movie, then
It's life-changing, I know, you don't have to thank me. Well, you can, but thank me later. Anyways, Wega's your main antagonist that tries to kill you. He slowly hovers towards you as you collect all of the Wegas. And when you do collect all of them, you will be teleported to this weird area where you have to run from the other antagonist, Urio. Or is it Urio? I don't know. He slowly slithers towards you like a snake, getting faster and will not stop until you die. But if you get past him, you get this win screen, and then after a little while, it just goes back to the title screen. I don't really know how to get higher ranks, and I don't really care. Maybe you have to be faster, but I don't really know. On to the next section, which is Now, unlike the last game, this game has a lot of content. Wega's Challenge The Idol is the sequel to, Wega's Challenge, released in, I don't actually know, due to an event that I will bring up later. This game was released on Roblox and has a lot of content, so I gotta split this up into sub-chapters. Cue the thing, I don't know. As far as gameplay goes, it's pretty simple. You just walk. But you do have the ability to B-hop to get more speed, which is just jumping a lot of times, which makes you faster, I guess. Anyways, this B-hopping makes the movement a lot smoother, and it causes me to fall off the ledges because I'm just a bit of a cocky piece of shit. Anyways, on to the next thing. This game has a plethora of game modes unlike its predecessor. The first one is Story Mode, which is a remaster of the original game's only mode. However, Wega isn't the only threat you have to deal with this time, as when you collect more Luigis, more enemies start to appear. The first one is Rory, who spawns in a random corner of the map and clutters your screen when approached. Then there's Maltigi, who locks onto the player and charges towards them in a straight line. When collecting enough Luigis, Wega becomes enraged, and I think he speeds up, but I'm a bit too good to find out. And when you collect all of the Luigis, you have a choice to go to the beacon or to touch Retro Mario. When entering the beacon, you have to climb a tower of some sort, but quickly to avoid drowning in the sea of Wega until you discovered the sacred idol, the Golden Luigi. When collecting said idol, you are put into another area where you must run from Urio like in the original game, and two Maltigis chase after you. However, when you pick the Mario instead, the roads start to turn retro. Sound familiar? It should if you don't have the memory of a fucking goldfish. The roads start to become retro as they do in, well, the original Wega's challenge. This is referred to as Lap 2, where Ultra Aereo spawns and shoots fireballs at you. A timer starts to count down, and at 1 minute and 46 seconds, Golden Rory spawns in, and 30 seconds later, Fried Maltigi spawns in, and finally, when the timer hits 0, Shoe Bench spawns and will kill you. However, when you collect all Luigis, the beacon spawns and, well, you know what happens next. Unless, again, you have the memory of a fucking goldfish. Do I have to keep saying it, or... Okay. The second game mode is Endless. This is one of my favorite modes because of the sheer chaos that ensues. You can encounter foes that aren't even in the story mode, such as Jake Jr., Jake Sr., that's his actual name, the Slime Marios, O-Red, Messy Bro, and Ultra Aereos. However, those are only the entities on the first few levels. Rory, Portal Turret, Demon Malt, and Hush Puppy can be encountered in later levels. There's not much else to this mode, it just randomly selects maps and enemies. However, it's super fun and hard, or maybe I just suck major ass. There are modes in this game that I just don't really feel like are that important enough to get their own subchapter, like Legacy mode, where it's just the normal mode, but you can't B-hop and there are less Luigis, so it's more like the Plebo edition. However, this game mode has a grim fate in the near future. But that's spoilers, oh shit. And then there's Maltigi's challenge, which replaces Wega with Maltigi, and there's a lot more of them. Then there's Retro Racer, which is basically just gambling, and you have to bet on one of them to win. And if it does win, you get 150 Luigis, but if you lose, then too bad, so sad. It's a good way to farm Luigis, and it's very addicting. It's like gambling all over again. Then there's other mini games like Kart Ride to the Idol, Wega's Challenge 64, which has the physics of Mario 64 and some other mild changes. Then there's Wega Bus, where you run from Wega for an hour, and that's literally the game mode. I don't know what happens when you run when the hour ends, but I'm not gonna find out because I'm not, well, stupid. I mean, I am, but not that stupid to run from Wega for an hour in a Roblox game. I've saved the best game mode for last, which is Bear 5 Alive. Bear 5 Alive is kind of like a Pizza Tower style game where you bust through doors while running away from Bear 5. However, there are two more freaks that need dealing with in this mode. There's Blue Chica, who spits projectiles towards a player, and of course there's Friend Inside Me, who covers the screen in static, and when it appears you must stay still or else he will end your lineage. Other than that, there's a shop every 50 rooms, but that's all. It might sound simple, but it's a lot of fun, believe me. But now it's time for the sad part, so you better get your Kleenexes ready or some shit. Eventually, Wega's challenge got too big that the folks over at Nintendo decided to take him out and shoot him like Old Yeller, leaving this masterpiece of a game lost forever. Until January 13th, 2026, 3 years after the initial release of the Plebo Edition, a remake of Wega's Challenge was released with legally distinct characters. As of now, the game is unfinished, as Bear 5 Alive isn't really in the game right now, as of me recording this video. But After Bear 5 is added, there is going to be plenty of new content coming to the game, like a lap 3 that would be played after completing the story mode and collecting all the Ludwigs, aka the legally distinct Luigis, as well as more creatures in the endless mode and more enemies in Bear 5 Alive. So if anything, that just gives you more incentive to play this game now. And if you don't, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to politely ask you to partake in the act of playing this video game. As with any popular game, fans want to make games about it. I've found 2 games that I want to talk about. Those include Wega's Challenge, The Eternal Lappin', and Wega's Challenge, The Wegaverse. First off is The Eternal Lapping. This game is a neat unofficial threequel of Wega's Challenge. The game is unfinished, but what we have here is a neat showcase of what's to come. The game is a mix of the Plebo edition and the current Idol edition. However, it has 6 laps instead of 2. Each one ramps up in difficulty. It's a fun time and I highly recommend it. There are even more freaks included in this game. Of course, there are basics like Wega, Maltigi, Rory, and Urio, but when you get to lap 2, Retro is included. He's a pop-up on the top right corner and you have to click on it to close it, which does get annoying, but let me tell you, I had no idea what I was in for in playing this game. I don't really want to spoil anything else because the game is high quality and I believe that you should truly play it. You should play it, you know? Fuck, what am I doing with my life? Next up is Wega's Challenge, the Wegaverse. Wegaverse is another take on Wega's Challenge that is, well, yet again, unfinished. It's your basic run-of-the-mill game that's very similar to the base version. However, there are some changes, and like, you can choose difficulties now? What? That's crazy. What the flip? And there's also a new enemy, the mini Maltigis, which are just smaller versions of Maltigi. Also, Wega has a new state after becoming enraged, which is the Furious state. When Wega is in this state, he starts destroying the map and sometimes making obtaining Wegas impossible. And let me tell you, this game is really hard, even on normal mode. Unlike the last game, Rory is your biggest threat. He completely blocks your vision, so you either fall off the stage or you stand still and accept your defeat. Not to mention all of the dead ends that are on the map, so you can be running around and get trapped because Rory blocks your freaking path and Wega's right behind you, and then you die! Also, you can't B-hop in this game. Instead, you have a meter that charges your jumps, and the higher the meter gets, the higher and farther you jump, making the game sort of feel janky. I literally could not beat this game, so if you want to try it, be my guest because I really don't have the patience to. There's also another mode called Maltigi Mountain, which is just the main mode but green. There might be more, but if I can't beat the base game, there's no way in hell I'm beating this. Also, I have a lot of things to do, like making this shit video. I guess that's it. Go to the outro, I guess. A little update from editor Goober. The game has been updated recently to, fix out some of the problems I had with the game, like how there are dead ends in the path and how Furious Wega just kind of makes some Wegas impossible to collect. But yeah, this update made the game a bit easier so I could actually beat it. And well, there is an Urio chase, so I guess that's good. There's also a lap 2, and honestly, I highly recommend the game because it's also very high quality, like the Eternal Lapping. So I guess just cut back to the outro. And that will do it for today. So, if you guys made it this far, you might be confused. Like, why did I make a video about a Roblox game called Wega's Challenge? Well, I just gotta say, because I love this game. That's why. I want to spread the gospel of Wega, and is that so wrong? Maybe a little bit. Also, this is going to be my first video that's not on Mario 64 or the Backrooms. Yay! Woo! We finally did it after 2 freaking years. I do plan on expanding my content to just general Mario stuff and maybe more back rooms. And what about the middle rooms, huh? I forgot about that. If you like these types of videos, you already know what to do. Smash the like button and the subscribe button, or don't, I don't really care. But it just shows that you like my content. Or you can just forget everything I said and move on with your day. But it doesn't matter. Whatever you do, remember to love yourself and stay silly, goobers.